Welcome again. This is Champion Day for CheapWineFinder.com. And this is our Easter extravaganza. Well, not really extravaganza. They're never extravaganzas, but the wine has a kind of a theme going. I'll tell you the name. It's the Land of the Saints Central Coast Pinot Noir 2021. The reason it's the Land of the Saints is I think California has like 30 or 40 different town names that are either Santa or Santa Barbara or San Francisco. There's a lot of places named after saints in California, and they decided, well, that's a good place to make wine. And with Easter coming up, Land of the Saints kind of works. I'm going to take a sip and we're going to talk about it. Yeah, this is like a classic California Pinot Noir. It's old school. It's colors see-through. The nose has got all those funky flavors, mushrooms and herbals and cherries. And the taste is long and interesting. It's really nice. It lists for $24. I found it for $16. And this is a fairly small production. I think they made a little bit less than 25,000 bottles, which might sound like a lot of wine. And it's enough wine to get in a lot of different stores. But like most of the wines we talk about have production runs in hundreds of thousands of bottles, not 25. So this is a kind of a boutique Pinot Noir without the boutique price. They sourced it from 3 different vineyards, one in Edna Valley, the other one in Arroyo Grande, and then the other in Santa Maria Valley. All 3 AVAs inside the San Luis Obispo AVA, which is also inside the San Luis Obispo AVA, is Paso Robles, if you're looking for a reference point. These are the places that aren't Paso Robles. So they took the grapes from those 3 different vineyards and those 3 different AVAs, all fairly close to each other. About halfway between Los Angeles and Los Angeles. More religious icon imagery. And San Francisco. St. Francis. Is there a St. Francisco? I don't know, probably. So they did each. They fermented and picked each one separately. Then they put it together at the very end. They did a couple of nice details on it. They 2 of the vineyard lots they destemmed the grapes, and the 3rd one, I think the Santa Maria Valley one, 20% of the grapes they kept the stems and the everything with it, where they didn't pull the grapes off. And that might sound weird, but for Pinot Noir, it's getting very popular to do because people think it helps the textures and the flavors and the aging. So to have that thrown in there, it's a little bit more of a hassle because now you have all that stuff in with the grapes, but it's worth it. It's worth it because it does add some flavor to it. I'm going to take another sip and we'll talk about what it tastes like. It was aged for 11 months in neutral oak barrels. Do you care what the size? Bordeaux barrel size? They're fairly small, but they're the ones you always think about when you think about oak wine barrels. So since they're neutral, they're not giving any flavor off, but they do change the characteristics of a wine. A wine that's fermented and aged in a stainless steel tank is going to taste different than a wine, the exact same wine aged in an neutral oak barrel. So you're not going to get the chocolates, you're not going to get the vanillas, you're not going to get some of those spices that you're going to get from a toasted barrel. But you get the black cherry, you get some interesting spices, exotic spices. You get plum, you get some tea, you get some cranberry, you get some minerality. There's just keeps on flowing. The acidity is really nice. Acidity gives the wine length, lets all the flavors flow out. It's a medium-bodied, maybe slightly light-bodied wine. It's a Pinot Noir, classic California. If you're into Meoimi, California, well, this ain't it. This is old school. And it's a boutique Pinot Noir. I mean, they have a whole line of wines. They have Cab Francs and Rosés and everything else, but this is their entry-level Pinot Noir. Not that $24 wine is necessarily entry-level, but it's a good quality wine. And it tastes great, and it has a Land of the Saints label. Has this looks like a druid, but can't be a druid. It's a Saints label. It's it's a nice, cool label. It'll look good on your Easter table because this is an Easter podcast. So there you go. It's a good Pinot Noir. It would go with ham if you're doing that this year. So that's it for me, Champion Dave, cheapwinefighter.com. Like us where you like your podcast, and we have the buttons on the website nowadays, so stay dry. It's raining outside half the time, and I'll be talking to everybody in a couple of days. Keep it cheap, and adios, bye-bye.